Hey everybody, Billy Bob, and I'm back again with Monday Morning Quarterback, NFL edition. Split it up, as I mentioned in the previous video. Thought it'd be just a little too long for everybody. Plus, who knows if I could talk that long all at once. Although I have a new nickname, Sir Talks a Lot. So let's address the elephant in Cleveland right off the bat, right? Shedeur Sanders. He played second half, concussion, at least Dillon Gabriel in concussion protocol. And Sanders, 4 out of 16. I don't even know the number of yards. Didn't look great. And here comes all the people, the conspiracy theorists, I call them. The line didn't block for him on purpose. They don't want Shedeur. He hasn't practiced with the ones. The receivers, the receivers aren't running the routes. Nobody wants the guy to succeed. So I'll tell you, for me, I wanted to see the guy play. I want him to get a chance. And I was disappointed. But he was in a tough spot playing the Ravens. But you know what? They were also had a chance to win, and it didn't just happen, or it just didn't happen. Whether it be he held the ball too long, the offensive line didn't block enough, the receiver didn't run a route, whatever. We don't know exactly. All we do is see what's on TV. And then we hear Kevin Stefanski, the question asked of him, did Shedeur practice with the ones? And Stefanski's answer is no. And then everybody goes bat house crazy. Oh my God, what is this? Anything from they don't want him to succeed. They want him out. Why would you draft a guy and then want him not to succeed? Oh, it's a racist thing. But here's the reality, folks. I heard Bishop and Friends on 97.1 The Fan. Yesterday they told me, or while I was listening, they said that it just doesn't work that way in the NFL. It's not like college. It's not like high school. The backups don't get reps because the practices are shortened so much, regulated by the NFLPA, that the ones get all the practice with the ones. And then it's up to the twos to either mentally be prepared or to stay late if they want to stay late, or work out on their own with some guys. And I heard that, right? But I'm like, okay, are they just talking, or do they know what they're talking about, or are they just talking? So I started doing some research, which I always recommend people do, right? You don't have to pay attention to you do have to pay attention to what I'm telling you, but you don't have to have belief without evidence. Go research it for yourself. So I started looking it up, and the first part I'll address is the practice with the ones. So Josh Dobbs, Luke McCown, Kurt Warner, and then I'll just go on here. Josh Dobbs said that's just not the way it works. You don't get reps with the ones when you're the backup dude. Kurt Warner, everywhere I was, the backup rarely got one reps. I wanted all the reps when he was starting. I wanted all the reps. And if the backup got any at all, it was a couple at the end of different periods. Whereas Breeden Fehoko, now Fehoko, he played, who did he play for? He played for the Chargers. He was a defensive tackle. Spent 3 years there. He said, for those of you who've never been part of an organization, you need to understand how this crap works. Now he used a stronger word. You don't just give all your reps, your QB's reps in practice. Your starter takes all the reps, and your backups run the scout team. That's why Tom Brady harps on mental reps. Okay? So And then today I shared a video with, got a brain cramp, Hasselbeck, Tim Hasselbeck. He was on the Dan Patrick Show, and he went in even greater detail. I posted it, I shared it on the Billy Bob's Backyard Barbecue page and the podcast page, I believe. And pay attention to that. Go look, it's about 4 minutes and 50 seconds. He goes into detail about the overall, not just about Shedeur. And then you'll have a better understanding. This isn't some conspiracy thing. This isn't a thing about, oh, he's Deion's kid and we don't want him. You don't think the Browns wanted to win yesterday? We know the fans wanted them to win. And you're probably wondering why I have a black shirt on and not a Cleveland Brown shirt. Well, I didn't bring one with me on this trip. And to be honest, unless I can find one 80% off right now, I'm not buying one, because that's about what the season is. It's about 80% off of where it ought to be. But there's this, I wanted to give you this NFL practice limitation deal. And we'll tie this thing up and we'll move on. NFL practices are limited by regulation on the number of duration of full-time practices, with only one full contact practice allowed per week. So they only get one full contact practice a week, and the total is capped at 14 a year, with 11 occurring in the first 11 weeks and the other 3 coming in the last 6 weeks. And so during that time, they got the ones with the ones, and the scout team is going against the number 1 defense. So especially, and by the way, I don't know if you remember when Dillon Gabriel started and he wasn't getting any pass protection, and everybody, the conspiracy theorists, are out that they didn't want Gabriel to succeed, and so they weren't blocking for him because they didn't like him. They didn't want him to succeed. Now they didn't block for Shedeur because they don't want him to succeed. But Gabriel is a rookie, and he's the number 1 QB1. So if veteran guys want all the reps, do you not think the coaches want to give Gabriel all the reps? Because he's the guy that needs more practice than anybody else, because he's the one starting the damn game. I don't know. That's just the way it works. We hear it in college all the time, too. Hey, the starter, we're winning. Take him out. Put the backup in. He needs it. What are you going to do? So, tie that bow. I know somebody will give me grief because I'm just reporting what I read, the way I understand it, the way it was explained. So we don't have to like it. It appears like Gabriel's out this week. Shedeur's going to get a whole week of practice with the ones, and then we'll see how he does against the Raiders and Max Crosby, right? So, all right, let's talk about injuries, because there were some significant injuries in the NFL this week, starting with Michael Penix. Now, Falcons aren't having a great year, but Penix, starting quarterback, he left with a knee injury. I don't know what his status is. Let's start. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he fractured it. I think it was a small fracture in his offhand wrist, but doesn't need surgery, and they think he may be able to play even as quick as this coming week. I think they play the Chicago Bears. Packers running back Josh Jacobs, medical tent, knee injury, did not return. Originally questionable, downgraded. Second half, Drake London, Falcons wide receiver, wasn't able to finish the game, knee injury. Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, missed time. There's Rodgers, Jalen Warren, Steelers. Running back left with an ankle injury. Kenneth Gainwell took over, did a pretty good job. We talked about Dillon Gabriel suffering a concussion. Jordan Love took a hit on a scramble, left shoulder. They patched him up. He came back in. And Bryce Young, injury. went to the locker room, patched him up. He came back and he had a really nice game. Talk about that in a little bit. Calvin Ridley was active, but then he was carted off the field with a broken leg. I'm presuming he's done for the year. And then let's see. Patriots defensive lineman Milton Williams, high ankle sprain, placed on IR, miss at least the next 4 games. Bengals lost Cam Taylor-Britt for the year, foot injury. Cam Sample left early due to an oblique. Who knows? Obliques are sometimes tough. That could take a week or 2. Bucks lost Jamal Dean, cornerback, hip injury, and then the Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson limped off, didn't return. Apparently that's a foot injury. So those are the highlights or the lowlights on knee injury, or just injuries in general. There was one other thing I was going to say about an injury, but I don't remember what it was. Let's talk about, got a lot of Buckeye fans in here, so let's talk about OSU receivers and QBs and RBs. Running backs. Let's go down real quick. Smith and Jigba, 9 catches, 105 yards, no touchdowns, 1 run for 11. Mecca Egbuka, 5 catches, 40 yards, no touchdowns. Chris Olave was on a bye week. Garrett Wilson did not play. I didn't see, I think it's the same nagging injury. Terry McLaurin did not play for the Commanders. Wilson for the Jets. Marvin Harrison Jr. did not play, recovering from appendicitis, had surgery, appendix taken out. And I threw in this week Jeremy Ruckert, tight end for the New York Jets, 4 catches, 23 yards. Ohio State quarterbacks, Justin Fields, he had a pretty good game, yet I saw where he was going to be benched this week. I don't remember who the backup quarterback is. But anyway, he's going to be benched. But this past week, 15 out of 26, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 11 rushes, 67 yards. C.J. Stroud didn't play, concussion protocol. Quinshon Judkins, 17 carries, 59 yards, no touchdowns, no catches. And then Travion Henderson, 19 carries, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 pass receptions, 31 yards, and 1 touchdown. And I threw in a little bonus because Jameis Winston, famous Jameis, he started for the Giants, 19 out of 29, 201 yards, no TDs, 1 pick, and he ran the ball 1 time, and I didn't put down how many yards he got it, but okay. You know, Jameis is a hoot. He could throw 3 TDs or 3 picks. And so let's go right into the games. I only got some little notes here, little tidbits. Dolphins over Commanders in overtime. That game was over in Madrid, Spain. The Finns won 3 of their last 4 games, and they pulled it out right there at the end. Panthers over the Falcons in overtime. I alluded to Bryce Young earlier with an injury. Came back. He had the best game of his career, 448 yards passing. The best game by 120 yards. So, really good game. As I mentioned, Michael Penix is hurt. Buffalo Bills, 44. Buccaneers, 32. Josh Allen, 6 touchdown passes. And then he threw one really bad, it wasn't really a pass. He was trying to prevent a safety. Ball came out, and Tampa Bay, he was trying to prevent a safety, but it went, that was a rookie mistake. It wasn't anything he should have done. Jags rolling big over the Chargers. Couldn't happen to a better guy than Jimmy Hairball. Jags win. Chargers no pass protection. Chargers had 160 total yards. Bears over the Vikings. My buddy Brian Kedley, he's happy. J.J. McCarthy, 50% passing reception percentage, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Not a great day for J.J. Packers 27-20 over the Giants. The Packers hold on, forced 2 turnovers late in the game, sealed the victory. Steelers 34-12 over the Bengals. Oh my gosh, the Bengals were losing 13-9 in the third quarter, and then 2 turnovers. One, Flacco. Joe's probably he's probably good for 1 pick a game. This pick was a 73-yard touchdown return for a touchdown, and then turns around. I think the Bengals got a field goal, and then what's his name? Fant, F-A-N-T, I think, the tight end, catches the ball, fumbles. Steelers pick it up, running in for a touchdown. They were right there, and they end up losing 34-12. If you didn't see it, Ja'Marr Chase suspended for a game. You saw that little, if you watched any of the game, you saw that little fight with, cornerback. And, I say when I get a brain cramp, it just doesn't come out of the cramp. So, played for the Florida State Seminoles and then the Jaguars. But anyway, he spit on him. He said, "I didn't spit on nobody." Apparently, the video evidence shows that he did, and so he got a 1-game suspension. So, Texans 16-13 over the Titans. Texas got a field goal with under 2 minutes. The Titans stink. They're 1-9. Niners over the Cards, 41-22. Purdy and Kittle played together for the first time since the first game of the year. There you go. Rams over the Seahawks. Rams defense, they picked off Sam Darnold 4 times, and they fended off a late comeback by the Seahawks. We talked about the Browns-Ravens. That game was tied. That game was tied with 2:31 to go in the game. They lose 23-16. Even as bad, now Dylan Gabriel didn't play great. Even as bad as Shedeur was at 4 out of 16, they still had a chance. And I believe the Browns had the ball last. Broncos 22-19 over the Chiefs. What's the surprise here? The Broncos are 9-2, and the Chiefs are 5-5. Enough said. Sunday night, Eagles over the Giants. Eagles defense shines. Lions are 6-4. That's a surprise to most. Cowboys 33-16 over the Raiders. Dak Prescott, nice game, 4 touchdowns. But the Cowboys are 4-5-1, and the Raiders, who the Browns play this coming week, are 2-8. So that's what I got. I don't think there's any more to talk about, unless you want me to just keep talking. Trying to think. Let's see here. I know the cornerback. Jeez, it's crazy. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's see, because I know you're all gonna give me a hard time if I don't look it up. Probably lost you anyway this late into the video. Let's see. Jalen Ramsey. Whew, there we go. All right. It's a wrap. America. Land of the free because of the brave. Stay focused, America. Billy Bob, peace out.